Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 327. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, it's the San Diego Comic Con episode. Woohoo!
Yeah, Comic
Uh,
Con.
yeah, we aren't there, but we can talk about some of the stuff that was released while we were here at home.
Some being
Uh,
the key word there.
some, yeah.
There was so
There's
much comic news that
oh
we
yeah,
couldn't talk about all of it.
yeah. There was it is for sure now back to being a Comic
Yeah,
Con. uh, and we got some animated news there and stuff, which is cool. And we also have Jonathan Hedrick back on the show today, everybody. So stick around for that. We do have an interview on this jam-packed show. So um, with that, I don't know anything you got going on you want to talk about before we just jump right into it. I'm trying to think if anything
no,
exciting's
just
happened.
working on shit over here, getting stuff put together.
Yeah, for people who watch via YouTube, Chris's background has progressively filled more and more. So
The trick now is to organize and catalog comics, which will be a
mm,
months and months long project.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's like the time I did that. I told you it was when I had in between college and taking my first job, so I had a lot of free time on my hands.
yes,
Now, not so much. I don't think I'll ever have that much free time on my hands ever again.
I have the time. It's the
But
motivation that's required.
yeah, that too. Well, I will say I probably do have the time to do it, but it's the motivation after like working,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and doing other daily tasks and chores. Yeah, that's you don't want it to become like you don't want the comic collecting to become a burden because it is a hobby at the end of the day. But I got to catch up on some comics this week, so I'll talk about some of the stuff. Like Phantom Road finished. It was weird. I was liking Phantom Road, and then it abruptly finished. It was like end of book one. And I was like, oh, that's where we're gonna end with a teddy bear. It was kind of weird, but all right, Jeff Lemire.
And hopefully we'll get booked too soon. I mean, I think it's on the
Yeah,
schedule to be out soon.
yeah. I think it's coming out right after, but it was just like I, Jeff Lemire. He gives you a little bit of the story, and then he's like, no, I'm just gonna bring in a teddy bear walking around because why
That's
not?
why I love him.
Yeah. So that's why he is where he is. Hey, he's been on the show before. I don't know what number episode, so go find
In
it.
the I don't know, like the '90s or something. It was a long time ago.
We should reach out to him. I wonder if he would respond and be like, dude, hey, we talked to you years
Works too
ago.
much.
Yeah. I mean, we talked to you years ago, dude, when you were only doing Black Hammer. Now you're a big cheese. And
Like a Netflix series.
yeah, right.
Too big for us,
Good for
Mike.
him. Yeah, too big. Um, okay, let's just jump into it. Skybound Entertainment announced this week when we can see Invincible on Amazon. There is a surprise to go along with it. As you're listening now, you can watch a special episode of the show centered around Adam Eve and her origin. And we learned that season 2 will premiere on the streaming service November 3rd, alongside with the new teaser trailer. Uh, a couple cool things there. Well, the teaser trailer is just them like flexing how many voice actors they have uh, for the show now. Because if you thought they had a lot before, they have a lot more now. Because there's a lot of characters we haven't seen. So, uh, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, you see snippets of what the story will be in the next one. If you read the comics, you'll know.
Yeah.
But I think
Yep.
for like normies, they're just like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Right. We're,
uh,
um.
they also said that they were going to try to have less time in between seasons moving forward, which would be really nice because I think it's been over 2 years.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Um, so that'll be nice. The Adam Eve special was fine. I think I told you before the episode, like it's good, but
Mhm.
like you could not watch it and you wouldn't be missing much.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know about the Invincible series, they did the same thing with the comics. They had like and I don't even know if I ever had read those, to be honest. They had an Adam Eve Rex Explode special.
Yeah, it's been so
I don't know
long.
if
I
I
don't think
ever.
it's her origin though. I
Yeah.
think that's like a side adventure
No.
with those two.
Yeah, but they did a lot of different books. I think Adam Eve had her own. And then all yeah, the Guarding the Globe stuff, which I have all those.
Yeah, and I enjoy all that
Uh,
stuff, but I don't know.
yeah,
It was just fine. It was
yeah.
because it was like Adam Eve was a teenager, so it was a little gory, but like it didn't
Mhm.
have as much of that. Like I don't know. Part of the fun of Invincible is a lot of gore and blood and violence. And
Yeah,
this is about a teenage
right.
girl discovering she has superpowers. So
Chris just doesn't like origin stories, people. This is what it is.
listen,
It's
listen, listen. That's not completely true.
I know, I
I
know.
don't
He
like
just doesn't
origin
want
stories for characters who
to.
don't need it, like
He
Batman.
doesn't want to see Batman
We
origin
get it.
stories.
His parents are dead. But
Yeah, we get it. Go to therapy.
no, it's just it just I don't know. It was good. It was good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just
Yeah,
you could not watch it
we
and you
just
wouldn't be
we just
missing.
want Invincible.
Yeah, like I want Invincible.
Yeah,
And you literally get
yeah.
like a minute of Invincible in this.
Mm,
Because I'll
that's
just spoil it.
disappointing.
At the end, like it's like, where's Mark during all this? And it's like little kid Mark being like, I'm duct tape man. And then Omni Man being like, shut the fuck up, kid. Go upstairs.
Go
Like that's
upstairs, you idiot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I did like kind
Um.
of the because she's like a government experiment, and then like the other experiments didn't go as well as her. You know, that old
Mhm.
story. And
Yeah.
like her just going ape shit on these things. Like the fight scenes are great. Like how they use their
Mhm.
powers and everything. But yeah.
That's cool.
It's worth watching if you miss Invincible. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Also coming to Amazon this year is the Boys spinoff series Gen V, which will premiere September 29th.
Just in time
Nice.
for my
Forgot about that.
birthday.
This is a live action series, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess we'll see how that is. Secret Invasion episode 5, or how Nick Fury's days can get any worse. Uh yeah, so he does in fact keep the Avengers DNA hidden in the middle of the Netherlands in a graveyard.
It's where I would keep it if
um,
I was him.
because that's Nick Fury. They did the whole Terminator 3 shit where he's like in a mausoleum. That's all. When he started opening up the mausoleum, pulling the guns out and shit, I'm like, didn't they do this? And didn't Sarah Connor hide all her shit in a mausoleum too? Isn't that how that worked?
Yeah,
Um,
that's when he like comes out with the casket and the machine and the
yes, and the
minigun.
machine. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, so
good shit.
awesome. He's like holding the minigun and holding the casket full of
Dude,
guns.
listen, T2
The,
gets all the credit and it deserves it.
yeah,
T3 is a quality action
I
movie.
love. I remember watching that and being like, "What the fuck is this?" And then, yeah. Anyways, but now I'm gonna watch Terminator after this.
Yep.
But the episode was really good. There was a cool fight scene with the mother of dragons and the scroll wife of Fury. I don't know anybody's names in the show. If you can tell, Super Scroll number 2 and regular Scroll. uh, yeah, there's that fight scene where they get like ambushed in the house, which is cool. Um, the the bad guy, we kind of reveal that like, oh, Nick Fury is alive because like he's wanted him to be alive so he can go find the DNA for the Avengers and steal their powers. So now Nick has gone to find the DNA and trade it with this guy. But it seems to me that over the last couple episodes, you see a lot of scrolls, and they try to stage like a coup at the compound against the bad guy. Of like, there's a lot of scrolls that are like, okay, you might be going a little too far, dude. Like,
Everybody needs
yeah,
to scroll down a little bit.
yeah. You're a little too super on your scroll. Because he starts like murdering his own people, and he's like talking about killing the world and all this shit. So, um, yeah, it's definitely interesting. It almost feels like next episode is the last episode
It is. It's
because
only a
we get
six issue or
yeah.
6 episode series.
Okay. And we get Nick Fury at the end in like in all leather with the eye
The
patch.
classic
So
suit.
classic suit. That was pretty
I
cool.
love that moment. Yeah, the fight scene was cool. It, like with Mother of Dragons and Scroll Wife, as we're gonna call her.
Yeah, scroll
Um,
life.
it was great because it was like It was like a Mission Impossible or like a James Bond
Yeah.
fight scene where like
Yeah.
guys are coming out of the
Mhm.
ceiling and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. I love so they confirmed that the Super Scroll is using Groot's people's DNA because that's all they could
Mhm.
find. Because they said the name, and I'm for zoning on the name right now, but they said the name of the
Yeah.
species,
Yep.
and I think now more than ever that he's like got the Avengers DNA, and that's what he's bringing the Harvest, the Avengers DNA,
Mhm.
to Super Scroll. That this just confirms to me that this is a setup for the real Super Scroll down the line. Like they're
Right.
laying the groundwork to be like, listen, we're gonna give you a Super Scroll. Just let us cast the Avengers first. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, the
Yeah, right.
Fantastic Four first.
The Fantastic Four, and then we'll get you
Yeah.
a Super Scroll.
So I
Yeah.
liked those little tidbits for the future. I like I said, I think the show is great. It's everything that I enjoy in a show. So
No, it's been fantastic for sure. Um, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Movie news: DC Animated announced their next two animated movies coming 2024. Uh, the two are Crisis on Infinite Earths, which okay, that's I'd like to see that, and The Watchmen.
okay.
So Chris has some problems with this one.
I don't have major problems. I just think it's funny that they keep mining these same two things over and over again for
Yeah,
content.
I would say for like the new generation, it would be cool to have a Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'd like to see that animated.
I'm fine with them animating both of
Yeah,
these. It's just
I'm not.
funny
I
to
don't
me
know.
that these came out together
Yeah,
because that's what DC does. They do
yeah,
Crisis and Watchmen.
it's true.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I've been
they
giving them a lot of
they
credit recently with stuff, but like historically,
right.
it's those two things.
They technically were like, "There's not going to be another crisis." Well, this isn't another crisis. This is the same crisis. It is kind of. I will say this while we're on the subject of DC animated, I watched the Batman Doom of Gotham or whatever it's called on HBO right now, which is like the Lovecraftian. It's almost like Gaslight Batman. Yeah, I didn't even know anything about this animated movie. It's really good. You all should watch it. It's like the story's fantastic. It's like Batman is has like a couple wards and they're out in like the Arctic and they find this guy possessed like penguins gone crazy. They found this guy possessed by like Cthulhu or like some cult and comes back to Gotham and starts like terrorizing it and like it's really good shit.
Doom that came to Gotham.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't hear anything about this. It's really good. You should check it out. The animation's awesome
What's
too.
really funny about this is this is the comic version of this
Uh-huh.
is a Mike Mignola, Dave Stewart joint.
Oh, interesting. And I never read it.
Yeah, I didn't even know this existed. And what's even funnier about it is like it's I mean it's an Elseworlds book, but you look at the covers and everything, and I mean it's Mike Mignola, so of
It's
course
Mike Mignola. Yeah.
they're just Hellboy covers.
Yeah, they're just Hellboy covers. But dude, it's really good. It's a really good movie, and the only thing is like they got a new guy trying out for Batman. I think they're still trying people out, and it's all right. I mean, he's nothing great. He's also not my favorite voice actor for Batman. So, but it is cool they are doing stuff like that.
David Guntoli. I don't know
Yeah,
who
he
that
doesn't
is.
have like the deep voice.
He was in Grimm.
Hmm. I thought they would have picked the guy from The Boys, Jensen Ackles. I thought he did a good
He
job.
was doing really good for a while. I mean,
Yeah,
in those.
I thought he had the voice for. But anyways, back to the Crisis and
Oh yeah.
Watchmen. Yeah, they're just. I mean, and like to especially a year where there's no movie announcements at San Diego Comic Con, these kind of just feel like, oh yeah, we decided to do these and we can do them pretty quickly because we already have the source material. Like,
Yeah, my only I mean, I I wonder if they're already in the can and they're just waiting to
yeah,
release them,
yeah,
or if they're just confident because the voice actors are part of the Actors Guild, so as far as I know, so I mean,
yeah,
when's
right,
this gonna get done?
yeah, right.
But yeah, it's like I said, I'm down for it. I want to get back into the DC animated movies because I thought for a while they were really great, and I just fell off because there's so much stuff out there.
Hmm.
It's just funny to me that these two announced together was funny to me for the
Yeah.
reasons I already stated.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then Chris went and saw Oppenheimer.
I
So,
did.
yeah, what'd you think?
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. First of all, Polka Dot Man's in it, which is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Um, he
Great.
plays a pretty key role, but it's
Is this how he gets his powers? He gets hit by a bomb and
yeah, and then like a bunch of polka dots come out of the A
break out of
bomb.
his skin. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Now it all makes sense.
No, it's really well done. It I thought they did a great job of like weaving in his early life in the beginning of the movie with
Hmm.
kind of what the quote unquote current events because the movie is based around Manhattan Project. Like
Yeah.
that's the core of the movie. But they do show his early life, him going all these places, and then they show the end of his life near the end. But it kind of weaves these two major moments in his life, which are the Manhattan Project, and then afterwards when he's being basically persecuted by the government because he was coming out like anti nuclear arms race and all this stuff.
Hmm.
And then Robert Downey Jr. plays the senator who's trying to basically throw him under the bus to like advance his career.
Hmm.
And they weave these together through like this awesome way of him like telling the story and then it like flashing back. But then like everything he's talking about goes into the modern lens of what's going on. And I just think, I mean, it's Christopher Nolan.
Right.
He knows how to make movies. I don't know if anybody knows this.
Hmm.
And it's 3 hours plus. And I will
Yeah,
tell
that's
you,
a
once
lot.
you get to the end of that movie, I looked at my watch and I was like, it's been 3 hours. Like, it's one of those movies that you truly do not feel like you sat there for that long.
Mm.
And I just think it's been great. I think I've been really lucky recently. I've gone to the movies a lot these past few months. I think everything's been really good. I
Hmm.
can't think other than Flash. I can't think of anything that I like disliked. And this just it raises the bar once again for what I've been watching. So everybody should go see it.
Yeah, and I never even went and saw the last movie. It was a Tenet that he did.
I still haven't watched that either,
So, yeah,
and
I have.
I kind of want
I
to
just
now,
heard.
even though I heard negative things about it. But
Yeah, I'll probably end up seeing it when it gets released on streaming or something. I just 3 hours is a lot for me now for movies. I just to sit down. I need to be able to like take a break. Get
I
up.
mean, I get you, but I'll just
Yeah,
say you're not going to feel like it's 3 hours.
this yeah. I will say I had a fever this week, so stayed home from work, and I because the only I had to pick a fever dream movie to watch while I was sick. I naturally because Fast X is out, so had to watch Fast and the Furious 10.
Did you though?
Um,
Did you?
I did. I did. I don't know if I watched it or I really just rode along in the car with Vin Diesel, but
Can I ask you?
uh,
Did Family defeat Aquaman? Is that
so this ends on a Empire Strikes Back. This is a part one, Chris. It ends on like a to be
these movies
continued
are
with
never
Jason
ending?
Momoa like winning. Yeah. I will say like this is spoilers for the movie. Like the movie ends with Vin Diesel at the bottom of a dam, and and Momoa like blows up the dam, and it's like okay, end of the movie. Like figure this shit out. I mean, he like they like blow up his friends in a plane, so they make you think everybody's dead. Not everybody can be dead. I think. But I mean, the cast is a lot of fun. Because like Brie Larson's in this one. Momoa's really weird though. He like teeters in between because he's supposed to be Brazilian, I think. So he has like an accent sometimes, but then he doesn't. He has like a very like normal voice, which is like Jason Momoa. He's always talking like this, but like I don't think that's his actual voice because like in this movie you hear him speak and he doesn't talk like that, and it's like wait is so he just has like a normal person's like voice. You know what I mean? It's like not over the top like he always is, but then he plays like a very flamboyant. If I had to describe his character, it would be the Batman villain Flamingo. I don't know if you knew that, the Grant Morrison villain,
Mhm.
where he's like always like dressed up really flamboyantly and just like a sicko because he just like loves murdering people. That's literally Momoa's character. Like he's always wearing like pinks and stuff. He has his hair in
So
like
he's playing Grant Morrison.
pigtails. Yeah, he's playing Grant Morrison. Uh, it was cool to see Momoa in a role like that. I will say that, like all ridiculous shit aside that's happening, it was cool to see a different side of him. Um, Even though he's not like the greatest actor. That's like the one thing about The Rock, right? Like The Rock is not a good act. Like The Rock does like one character and everything, but he'll never let himself be the bad
The
guy
Rock
or like
plays The
show any.
Rock.
Yeah, but like the difference, we can get into this all day, but like the difference between The Rock and someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger and his prime was like Arnold Schwarzenegger would take roles uh that would let him show weakness or like fault, which also helps the character grow. Like that's why Terminator was so great, right? Like he was the bad guy who then becomes like the person that's redeemed and like wants to help. Where it's like The Rock doesn't do that. The Rock is just, I'm the hero the whole time. And Momoa in this, it like he's the bad dude the whole time. So it's interesting to see like, you get like these one track actors that aren't necessarily known for their like range, but they also like are up to do weird shit or like not always be the same hero all the time,
Yeah.
for fear of people not liking them or some shit like that. But no, it was interesting.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah. I mean, they're popcorn movies, dude. I'm not going in and thinking like, oh, it's gonna be but they do. They start the movie off with Familia, and they talk about how like you can't family yourself out of this one, stuff like.
I think, and I don't know if they're joking or not, but I think the fan
Yeah.
bases made me hate those movies.
Mm,
And it's uh, half of it's the memes because, like, I get it, the movie's
yeah.
about family. Um, which is why the one I shared today I thought was funny because it was Vin Diesel like about to attack Darth Vader, and he says
Hmm.
only family can defeat the dark side, and then Vader cuts
Yeah.
him in half because that's what happens.
Yep.
Um, but also just like people telling me how great these movies are, and I'm just like, come on, like I love Commando, but Commando's just like an action flick, dude. Like it's not a great
Yeah.
movie.
I mean, no, these are not great movies, but they like you sit there and you're like, wow, they really just did that stupid shit. Like,
It also this
yeah.
one disappointed me because, like, they kept ramping up these movies to where I
Hmm.
got interested because 'cause I'm like, "How did we get here? How did we get to where
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
driving a car from one skyscraper to another?" And then the next movie's like,
Or
"We're
into space.
driving a car in space." And now it's like,
Yeah.
"We're gonna ground it back down again." I was like, "What? No.
Yeah,
Give them
now this one,
superpowers."
yeah. No, this one they're in cars like the whole time, so I will say
Just
that, but
just make Vin Diesel turn into a car. Like, do something stupid. Like, that's if you keep
I
going
will
that
say
direction, I'm in, but
the best part about this movie is like his brother in the movies now is Peacemaker.
oh, John Cena's in it?
John Cena, yeah. So he shows up in the last movie as Dom's brother, Vin Diesel's brother. And so like his family's in trouble, so he's the uncle to Vin Diesel's son, and he's like babysitting his son the whole movie. And like they're on like a road trip and shit together. And that whole sequence of like them interacting with each other was a lot of fun. Of like, you know, him like telling him not to swear and like listening to his cassette tapes in the car and shit. It was just a fun time.
If Baby Dom drives a car and defeats Jason Momoa, I'll watch all 11 of these movies. 12, sorry, 12 these movies.
Baby Dom drifts around cars and he like blows up other
Yes.
cars in this.
If that happens in the next movie, you come to the show and I will do a year-long series once a month where I watch one and I review it.
No, it happened in this movie. I'm
Baby
telling you.
Dom drives the car?
He's like, I don't know, he's not a baby anymore, but he's like 7 or 8 years old. That's how the movie starts. He's like teaching him how to drift.
Oh my god, my
That's
joke came real
and then there's a part where like he's in the car, he's in this make he rebuilds this car because he's like a prodigy mechanic, I swear to God, and he rebuilds this car with John Cena, and it like launches grenades at like other cars.
So
I don't know, it's
if the next
ridiculous.
movie when that comes out,
Yeah.
if that ends with Dom like tied up or something, being like, "I can't defeat him. I need family." Ugh." And
Yeah,
then
and the
Baby
kid
Dom
drives
comes around and just like drifts the car and hits Momoa and defeats him. Be like, "I got you, Dad. It's all about family." I will
dude,
do
that's gonna
this
be the
series. I'll
ending.
do a year-long series where I watch one a month. If that
Okay, that's
happens,
gonna
or something similar,
happen.
like
Something's it's gonna there's no way it doesn't. You're setting yourself up right now. Here we
I
go.
like to set myself up. Remember when I had to read
Okay.
My Little Pony? Remember that?
Yeah, this will be a lot worse than that.
It will be. It'll be
Um,
torture.
and now let's go through this long, long list of comic book news.
Buckle in, everybody.
Chris, buckle in. San Diego Comic Con delivered a lot of comic book news. So if you like comics and you like news, this is the podcast for you. DC announced that the Hive Mind, Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, have a new 12-issue series coming called The Outsiders. Oh my god. The series will be drawn by Robert Carey. While The Outsiders are normally led by Batman, this iteration will be led by Batwoman and Luke Fox. I don't even care. If this was a book without Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly's name on it, I would not read it. I'll tell you right now, Chris, I would not read this book. But I will.
Same, because the characters that they named, I'm like, okay, fine. Like,
Batwoman, okay, Batwoman's kind of cool. Luke Fox, I won't read anything with Luke Fox. I'm no interest with this character. I don't care. I don't want to care, but I know who's gonna make me care.
Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm there too. I mean,
Okay.
it's one of those scenarios. It's an Ed Brubaker scenario. I see those
Yeah.
names, I'm buying the book. Like, I
Yep.
didn't need to know anymore. I just need to know they were making a comic and I was there. So I'll be interested to see if they do make me care. Because so far, we've talked a lot about them, and I think that they are great writers and they're making great comics. But so far in their career, they've hit characters that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Kang, Thunderbolts, Captain America, the list goes on. It's characters I absolutely love. I think this might be the first time where they're
Yeah.
going for a character or
They're
characters that give zero shits about. So
they're taking a step. They're taking a step
yeah,
back for
they
sure.
said we
Yeah.
need to challenge ourselves and see if Chris will follow us in this new adventure. And so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. They roped us in with the big ones, and here we
But
are.
I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah, we're there. DC, and also it makes sense. Why would Batman run the Outsiders? He's got no fucking time for that.
Oh, he's got so much shit going on.
He's got so much
He's got
shit.
like 8
He's already got
comics
the
going on. He can't be doing this
yeah.
much stuff.
He can't, and he's got the Bat family already. He doesn't need a whole nother group. DC is teaming up with Legendary Comics for a crossover event title written by Brian Buccellato and drawn by Christian Duch. Uh, this series is called Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. What? Yes. Did you hear that, everyone? There's two verses in the title. It's God's Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. And you know what? You might as well throw my verses in there versus my wallet. But yes, I am going to be reading this book.
I've been waiting since this announcement to get your reaction for this.
Oh, hell
This is
yeah.
awesome.
This is so awesome. This is like a step up from Power Rangers versus Godzilla. Why has this never been a book before?
Yeah, it's just this is when I talk about fun, this is one of the aspects I mean. Just do this stupid crazy shit. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna like who wouldn't want to see like I want to know how Batman's gonna punch Godzilla.
He's going to build a mech suit to fight him. He's got
Fuck
it.
yeah, do it. Like
Yeah, the bat the Batwing versus Godzilla. Let's go.
this this is just so yeah, this is great.
If Ultra Humanite doesn't capture King Kong and put his brain in King Kong's brain, I'm out.
Oh
Like
my god, that would
why would why would they not make that the book? Right? Come on.
yeah, just
Ultra Humanite sees King Kong and he's like, "Oh baby."
this announcement is just kudos, DC. Kudos.
Yeah, nice job.
Like
This is good.
this is the type of stuff I want Marvel to start doing. Like they used to
Yeah,
do it. And
yeah.
now like it seems like only DC does it. And it's been a minute since we've gotten one of these. And when I saw this, I just couldn't believe it.
Like, give us a Guardians of the Galaxy versus Aliens book or some shit like that.
And that's the
Come
thing.
on.
Like, okay, Marvel's stepping out there with the Predator versus Wolverine thing. So
Yeah, that's cool.
maybe we'll get that down the line. But like
Yeah,
Marvel owns a bunch of properties. They don't even have to reach out to anybody. They can just be
I know.
like, yeah, let's just do Daredevil versus Snow White. Like, why not? We own them.
Yeah, yeah, they own everything, right? Come on. Oh
But
man.
this is the tops. Like, I got to give credit where credit's due in DC.
Hmm.
This is the announcement of the show in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. Come on. DC's new mobile trading card game, Dual Force, which I haven't checked out at all, is getting a comic to go alongside it. The new series will star the Justice League and is written by Tim Seeley, with art by friend of the show, Travis Mercer. Nice. Good for Travis. Uh, I don't know if I'll be reading this, but
We'll see. Travis had like told me about this already, so this is the one thing I hinted earlier that I knew about. I knew it like
mhm.
this was coming and a few other things, but yeah, good for him. It's, I mean, Travis is still new to mainstream comics, and he's been doing stuff kind of outside of what DC's doing proper. Like, you know, he did that
Yeah.
Batman book for the toys. He did do a couple like second features for some books, and then this, and
Hmm.
possibly something else he's working on. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, what I'm confused about, and this is no offense to Travis, I love the guy. I mean, we got along really well and we talked, but Tim Seeley's writing this.
Yeah. Right.
That's the only thing that makes me think like maybe I should check this out.
I know that is kind of crazy that Tim Seeley is writing
But
it.
I do love. I think Travis is a talented artist, and he'll be doing big stuff one day. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Tim Seeley's just all over the place. I mean, he was writing the Masters of the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe Masterverse
Yeah,
book that I was reading. He's just like
he
doing whatever he
he did
wants.
that Injustice versus He Man book. Like
Yeah,
but he's done a lot of big stuff, and even He Man's like a mainstream product in terms of comics.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
like, and once again, I don't want to like, no offense to anybody in the industry. If you're getting work, get work, and if you do good work, you know, people will see it. But this is usually a type of book that somebody who's like just stepping into the industry or like making
Would
their
do.
way up
Yeah,
is going to do, not a guy who's been
right.
in it for years and years and years and has a name and reputation. So
Yeah.
it makes me wonder if there's something more to this book.
Hmm. Um, DC announced their next big event coming from writer Tom Taylor and artist Ivan Reyes. Okay. The event will spin out of Taylor's Titans run called Titans Beast World. The series will feature a villain, Necrostar, who is unable to be taken on by heroes like Batman and Superman, and Beast Boy becomes the world's only hope. Okay. Listen, I mean, Tom Taylor does a lot of good shit, so I'll wait and see what he does. I'm not going to say anything yet. Um, Ivan Reyes art, though, let's go. This book's going to look really good.
Yeah, creative team I'm down for.
Yeah.
I've said it once, I said it a million times. I'm not reading a Titans book, and I don't buy the premise that Superman can't defeat this character, but Beast Boy can. Fuck off,
Yeah.
DC.
Superman can't fly the villain into the sun and just drop
Like,
him.
yeah,
Come on.
just fuck off. Like, I'm sorry. Give me a reason why the Titans have to be the ones. I mean, I get it. That's the center of your universe now. That's your big team up.
Yeah.
But to tell me like Batman and Superman aren't enough, we need Beast Boy. Like, shut up. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But I mean, good on Titans fans for not only getting a creative team for the Titans stuff that's really great. Like Ivan Reis,
Yeah.
probably my favorite DC artist. Tom Taylor,
Right.
one of my favorite writers. So good on them for getting what seems like really great books. Outside of my jokes and my making fun of Titan stuff, I'm happy for those
Yeah, it is
fans.
pretty big deal to have him on it. Have them both on it. Marvel announced that Superior Spider-Man is returning for his 10th anniversary. Oh man. The return comes in from a one-shot comic written by Dan Slott, surprise, with art by Ryan Stegman, Mark Bagley, Giuseppe Camuncoli, and Humberto Ramos. So, yeah, 10-year anniversary already for Superior.
Doesn't feel like it's been 10 years.
No, it
I've
doesn't.
been
It's weird.
wanting to read Superior Spider-Man, but never have. And
Mm-hmm.
Superior Spider-Man's kind of what like made Spider-Verse a thing. Because it kind of spun out of that. But yeah, good on these guys. I won't be checking this one out because I haven't read the original. So why would I pick up the one
Yeah.
shot celebrating the thing I never read?
Yeah, doesn't really make sense. Marvel's bringing back Crypt of Shadows for one shot mini anthology. The one shot will feature stories with Deadpool, Daredevil, Man Thing, Victor Strange, and Scarlet Witch. I'm guessing this is like a horror anthology they used to do.
Yeah, they did it last year too because it's coming out in
Hmm.
October as well. So
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
I'll pick this up because well, Daredevil's in it, so I'm gonna pick it up. But Daredevil's teaming up with Man Thing, which is interesting. And as my world turns upside down, I once again say this: the Deadpool story sounds interesting because he's fighting a mummy.
Oh, that is pretty
like,
cool. Yeah,
like that's a good setup. I'll probably hate it because I usually do, but I
yeah,
like the setup.
yeah.
Um, but I'll check it out just for the Daredevil stuff. Plus the Man Thing. Man Thing's cool.
Man Thing's
Yeah,
cool. This is pretty cool. Marvel previously announced that Greg Capullo is returning to the publisher, but now we know what his first works will be. The artist will be doing cover work for some X titles, first being Wolverine number 37. We can see his first interior work at Marvel for over 20 years, and Deadpool 7 Slaughters number 1. So he's starting off with Deadpool. That's probably a good, I'd say that's probably a good book for his art style.
sure.
You won't be reading it, but
No, and I know he's an X guy, so it makes sense for him to come back to the X office.
yeah,
He did
yeah,
X Force back in the day and all that.
yep,
It just kind of sucks that I won't be picking up Capullo stuff.
yeah.
Um,
I'm sure they'll give him a lot more stuff.
I was trying to think what I would like to see him on because like he was a good fit for Batman. I mean, Moon Knight's too small a project for him. It has to be a big name for to bring in Capullo.
I mean, Wolverine would be great for him.
Wolverine, and that's probably what he'll end up taking over at some point. But once
Yeah,
again, just not next guy. So I was trying to think of
yeah.
who, maybe Daredevil, but
That'd be
yeah,
cool.
but it's not gonna happen. It's probably gonna be a next book, probably Wolverine. So
Yeah. For the third year, or Punisher, that'd be sick.
he could do a good Punisher.
Uh,
Yeah,
for the third year in a row, Marvel has announced an end of year one shot comic titled Timeless that will set up stories for the following year coming out in December. This year, the one shot comic will be written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly instead of Jed McKay, who did the previous two. You son of a bitch, I'm in. Man, these guys are all over the
they're
place.
getting work, man. They're getting work.
They're getting work. Wow. Good for them.
Yeah, Timeless is fun every year. This has become my new favorite like yearly thing that Marvel does. This one shot to kind of
Hmm.
set up everything. And
That's cool.
yeah, Jed McKay did it. It sets up a lot of stuff, but like the center of it set up his Moon Knight, and then last year it set up his Avengers. So like his plate's pretty full at this point. So it makes sense
Hmm.
that you pass it along to somebody else. It just makes me wonder what's
Yeah.
next for the hive mind because
Right. Right. What are they doing?
because usually something spins out of this that's new.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Something's coming.
and it's too early for them to take over Avengers. Jed just started, so
Yeah.
yeah, where is it going? Or is this going to continue in Guardians or something? We'll see. But I'm
Yeah.
excited for this. I like this that they're doing this.
Yeah. Marvel announced that spinning out of Amazing Spider-Man in their next big event, Gang War. This event series will feature Marvel street level heroes as they fight the villains of New York who are fighting each other for New York City supremacy. It's a little too real, guys.
We
Yeah.
also
So
just did
that's
this.
yeah.
Yeah, Daredevil just did this. Like,
Uh huh.
but I'm a sucker and I'll pick it up because I like street level stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but we'll see. I mean, it depends because I was reading about it and it doesn't seem like it's going to necessarily be uh like a 4 or 5 issue series. I think it's going to weave in and out of different books, and if that's what it does, I'm
Hmm.
out. See ya.
Yeah.
But if there's like 4 or 5 issue, 6 issue series, and they do something cool with it, I'll check it out. I like street level Marvel, so. But yeah, we did just do
Nice.
this Marvel. Like,
Come on, guys. Come on. This I don't know if this is kind of lackluster when we talked about it last week, but the new Punisher coming out this fall. We have more info on the series. It'll be titled Punisher. and written by David Papose, art by Dave Watcher. Hey, shout out to Papose. New person to take over the role will be a retired Shield Black Ops agent Joe Garrison.
Yeah, it's very
Any
lackluster.
any Joe Garrison fans on the show? Listen to the show. You let us know.
T- to the best of my knowledge, new character.
Yeah, I've never heard of this
I
guy.
looked him up a little bit and I couldn't find much. Yeah, this is as lackluster as it gets. David did say it was his goal was to for this to be Danny Ketch to Frank Castle's Ghost Rider, and I get what they're doing there, but I don't know. The Punisher character isn't interesting enough for this, in my
Yeah,
eyes. I will probably check it out to support David, but I don't understand why. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. If you're gonna make I mean, if Punisher's gonna be a part of like a military or a government outfit, then he's not Punisher, first of all.
right.
And if it's just a ex Black Ops agent who went crazy and decided to go punish villains by killing them, then why'd you get rid of Frank Castle? Like yeah. So we'll see. I hope David can prove to me that I'm wrong about this, but we'll see. I just don't get it. It would be more interesting to do Punisher 2099, bring him back to the past.
Yeah, that would have been cool. This is not cool, guys. I don't. This is just not cool. This is cool. Ahoy Comics announced that part of their 5th-year anniversary, they're bringing back Captain Ginger with a new 2-issue series titled Captain Ginger: The Last Feeder. The series will bring back writer and co-creator Stuart Moore and artist co-creator June Brigman. Coming this fall. That's awesome. Good for Ahoy 5-year anniversary. Congrats,
More
guys.
cats in space. Do it.
Cats in space. Let's go.
Captain Ginger, everybody, is a really fun sci-fi series. And it's not
It's
like,
great.
and I love this book too, but currently on Kickstarter, Mittens issue 2, Sierra Nova Comics, friends of the show, great book. It's not like that. This is like, they actually have to steer the ship with like scratching posts and shit.
Yeah,
it's,
it's
it's,
awesome.
it's so much fun. So I'll be looking forward to this.
Yeah. Dark Horse announced that Hellboy creator Mike Mignola and artist Duncan Figueroa are teaming up for a new 3-issue series titled Giant Robot Hellboy. As the title states, in this series, we will see Hellboy as a giant metal robot, much like the Iron Giant.
They know how to get Mike's money.
Yeah, man. I mean, what? Why else would I read this book? Uh, why is Hellboy a giant robot? We don't need to know.
Doesn't matter. It's just
Doesn't
fun.
matter. Yeah, it's just fun. Who
I might
cares?
pick this up.
Yeah,
And
let's
what's
go.
great is the cover for it. I don't know if you looked it up, but it does look like an Iron
Yeah.
Giant poster
Uh huh.
because it's literally just an
Oh, it
Iron
does.
Giant like Hellboy.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And it seems like one of those books that like Mignola's been doing this a long time and he's getting up there in age. And I feel like he was just on the crapper one day and he was just like, it would be really funny if we made a giant robot Hellboy.
Yeah, because why
And
not?
then he just like got off and was like, I'm like fucking Mignola. I
I
can
can
just
do
do it.
that. I'll just ask someone to draw it for
And he
me.
calls up Dark Horse and is like, this is what we're doing. They're like, all right, we got nothing else going on, so might as well.
Yeah. We'll take it, dude.
Much love, Dark Horse. Much love.
Yeah. IDW announced TMNT The Last Ronin is getting a sequel titled. It needs a new title, folks. You got to work on this, guys. TMNT The Last Ronin Re-Evolution. Bad title. Cool series. Bad title. The series will bring back Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz, the writer, with Ben Bishop doing the art. So, yeah, we knew Last Ronin was a big hit. I hope that this one lands as much as that one did. But the Last Ronin Re-Evolution makes it sound like it sounds like it's a director's cut of Last Ronin or something. You know what I mean?
I think what they're going to go for is in The Last Ronin, The Lost Years, there's a new batch of turtles.
Uh,
Because, you know, it's been long enough. Spoilers for Last Ronin. Mikey was the last Ronin, and Mikey is now dead. So there is
mm,
no more turtles other than these. So I think what's going to be is they're going to age them up So they haven't finished the Lost Years yet. They're going to age them up and just do these new turtles, which I find interesting because it's not just the same 4 turtles. They actually like
Hmm.
use different species, so they're
Oh,
a little
that's
bit
cool.
different aesthetically. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll be there. I like the last Ronin verse. I mean, if you're a fan of comics and just a somewhat fan of turtles, if you like just enjoyed the cartoons or whatever, Last Ronin's worth reading. So I'll be there to check this one out.
Nice. I still have to read the first series.
Yes, you do.
It's on my list. Sumerian Comics announced that they're doing a comic book sequel to the cult classic film American Psycho. The new series would be a direct sequel to the movie and ignore the events of the controversial movie sequel American Psycho 2 that came out in 2002 starring Mia Kunis. The comic will be written by Michael Claro and art by Peter Kowalski. Uh, okay.
This one came out of left field.
Yeah, I'm not a huge American Psycho fan, so I know there's people that are. That's cool, I
I'm
guess.
on the other side. I'm a huge American Psycho fan.
All right, then this book's
I
for you, I
love, yeah, I love
guess.
that movie. I don't know if I want a sequel to. I never even watched the sequel movie.
I didn't even know there was a sequel.
I did because Mila Kunis was so hot back then, and I mean
Yeah,
that in the joking Zoolander way.
so hot right now.
And although good looking woman too, but
Yeah, she was in everything, I think, in the early
yeah,
2000s.
and it didn't seem like it fit in with what the Christian Bale movie was about,
Mhm.
so I never even watched it. So to me, American Psycho is a standalone movie, anyways. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like look further into this and see what they're doing. Maybe wait to see like how it turns out before I read it because I love that movie, but it's one of those things that just it stood alone on its own forever, and I think that's just fine. So you have to prove to
Mhm.
me that we need to do more of it.
Yeah. Come on.
But interesting announcement, much like the next one.
Uh yeah. Dynamite announced this week that they're re-releasing a sequel
They're
comic
releasing
to
a
the
sequel
cult
comic.
releasing a sequel. Sorry, I don't know why I said releasing. Releasing a sequel to the comic called cult classic film Army of Darkness. This comic will be titled Army of Darkness Forever, and is written by Tony Fleeks, art by Justin Greenwood. The series is said to be the finale many fans felt they should have happened coming out this October. I'm gonna read this. They did this early on back in, oh man, this is years ago. They did like the actual sequel to Evil Dead kind of thing. I remember, which was fine. I mean, I love Army of Darkness. I know a lot of people that love Army of Darkness. So, and to really target the fans is a big deal. So, you gotta think this is gonna be pretty good.
In the Sam Raimi verse, the Evil Dead verse, Army of Darkness was the movie I loved.
Yeah.
It had that perfect mix of horror and comedy. And it was the first movie of his I watched. I absolutely love that movie, and I'd always hoped that they would return to it. To be
Hmm.
fair, I didn't watch the Ash versus Evil Dead, so I don't know how much of that gets into that. I
Yeah.
need to watch it. I understand that. I don't read Army of Darkness comics because I'm not in that into it. I
Mhm.
might pick this up. I might wait to see what you say, of all people.
Yeah, because I don't read them all, but I do like. I mean, I'll pick them up when stuff interests me. But this, when they actually say, "Oh, it's part of like the movie universe," I will read it.
Yeah, to be as brazen to say it's a sequel to the cult classic movie means something. And since you're the biggest fan of the stuff I know, I'll
Yeah,
probably wait to see what you say before I dig into it, but
it's
it
fair
did
enough.
like spark an interest. I'll say that because I did
Yeah,
love that. I do love that movie.
and the only thing I hate about these books is I don't think they pay any royalties to like Sam Raimi or Bruce Campbell, which that's a whole other thing in itself. But um,
That's yeah, it's a whole nother can of worms because who owns the
yeah,
rights?
and they're pretty much using Bruce Campbell's face in the
Pretty much,
in the comic
they
in
are
every one of
using
the
Bruce Campbell's
comics. Yeah,
face.
yeah, they are. I mean, you can try to say it's not him, but that is Bruce Campbell. So, but yeah, I mean, this I will be checking this out, And I mean, I've read a lot of the fun series they've done where he like goes to space and shit like that, where I thought were a lot of fun. So I'll be checking it out, especially October when I am watching, the Evil Dead movies and stuff. And
I think the only Army of Darkness comic I read was Marvel's Zombies versus the Army of Darkness.
oh
That's a
yeah,
good one. That's a lot of fun.
yeah it is. Yeah, this is interesting. Image Comics announced that comedian Andy Samberg and guitarist for Fall Out Boy Joe Troman, alongside Rick Remender. Wow, what a strange cast of
Don't you want to be in a
It's
room with those three?
yeah, they're like looking around. They're like, let's grab this guy, and I don't know who's that. A guitarist from Fall Out Boy, yeah, whatever. And Rick Remender, okay, will be writing a new series titled The Holy Roller. This series will also feature art from Roland Bauschy. The Holy Roller is pitched as Kingpin meets Inglorious Bastards meets Batman, as the titular character is a vigilante fighting crime with a bowling ball. Now that's you didn't need to tell me that it was Kingpin meets Inglorious Bastards meets Batman. Just tell me it's a dude fighting crime with a bowling ball. I'm fucking there. That's all I want. That's all I needed. That's how simple I am. That's all I want to know. You had me with the crime fighting bowling ball, Chris.
Mike is a man of simple pleasures.
Yeah. Was there not a oh man, the Avengers? Wasn't the British Avengers? Wasn't there with Ben Stiller? Oh my god, wasn't there a movie where he was like a hero and he had a bowling ball?
Oh,
Wasn't there a movie?
are you thinking of
What
Mystery
was that
Men?
movie? Mystery Man. Yes. Wasn't there? Didn't Ben Stiller play a dude who like hit people with a bowling ball?
He was Mr. Fear. It's been so long since I watched this movie.
Oh my god, Mr. Fear. But there was a guy
It
with
was
a
Mr.
bowling ball, right?
Furious.
Mr. Fear. Yeah, he was just always he would get really mad. Yeah, dude, I forgot about that movie. Oh,
There's
what was it called?
there's a I forget her name, but there's a woman here with like a orb that kind of looks like
Yes.
a bowling ball. Like it's the size of a
Okay.
bowling ball.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyways, that's immediately thought about that movie. Holy shit! Wow, what a throwback.
Oh my god. I need to rewatch this movie now.
Yeah, Mystery Man, right?
Mystery Man. I
Yeah.
haven't watched that in so long.
Oh, that was wild. Yeah, the movie's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm with you. Like, I'm not the biggest Andy Samberg fan, but I do love Brooklyn Nine
Yeah,
Nine.
I love Hot Rod. Hot Rod's my favorite Andy
I
Samberg
never
thing.
watched Hot Rod.
Oh,
To be honest, I keep saying I'm not a big Andy Samberg fan. I haven't watched a lot of stuff he's in. I just when I caught him on SNL, I didn't. And this is more of an SNL problem. I didn't care for him,
yeah,
but I
I
don't care
get
for a
it.
lot of people on SNL. So,
Yeah.
but I did love Brooklyn Nine Nine. That's one of my favorite shows. And I mean, I don't listen to Fall Out Boy, and like no judgment, but just not my music. But it wouldn't be the
Hmm.
first time a musician from a band I don't like made a great comic, Umbrella Academy. And like you said, it, yeah, fighting crime with a bowling ball. I'm in. Like let's have some fun and just watch this guy go nuts with a bowling ball. I'll be there.
Why not?
Yeah. So
Why not? Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
all I learned from this news is I'm gonna be spending a lot of money soon.
Yeah, it's all very good stuff. Fun in comics. That's what we care about, and we got a lot of that, Chris. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I will throw shame though at Marvel. No Rom. What the hell?
Yeah, no Ron the Space Knight. Come on,
I knew
guys.
I was setting
This.
myself up for disappointment, but like
Yeah, you were. It's all right though. It's all right.
fucking Marvel. I gave you so much love.
Every time. I know. Let's talk about what we read this week, Chris.
Comics. I read comics.
Dude, I read the new Blade. Did you read
I
that?
did.
Oh, that wasn't that fucking
Dude, it's
sick.
dope. Right here.
Yeah, there it is. Brian Hill wrote it. Elena Casagrande and the art. Art was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. I would say this is a really cool introduction. Um, there's this evil. It starts off like, oh, you have to protect this girl. There's this really evil force coming to like change the game and evolve all the monsters, like kill them off and reinvent them. And so he saves the girl. Well, comes to find out the girl is now the possessed like being. The blade gets captured and he gets saved, and now this person that saves him wants his help to kill this like evil that he's let loose. So it was a great first issue.
Yeah, action packed, a lot of fun,
Yeah.
backstory. It didn't get too much. Like it'll let you know who Blade was. He's half vampire, half human. He's the
Yep.
Daywalker. Like
Daywalker. Yeah.
perfect first issue. And I'll say this: if you like the art here, it reminds me a lot of the Moon Knight run. And actually, I should have
Mm,
looked it up, but it might even be the same artist because it's so similar.
okay.
So that's why like the action sequences here are so good, and they remind me so much of that run and how that's
Hmm.
progressed over the years. So yeah, I'm really happy to have a good Blade book.
I'm catching up on Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, so I'm on issue 3 out of 4. It's only a 4 issue series. Tim Seeley, Eddie Nunez, and the art. Nunez art is just awesome. You know, it's almost like an anthology about these different He-Men and how they've overcome like great evil and fear to become like the saviors of their universe. And this is the whole thing of like the sorceress explaining to um this guy, I can't remember his name, but he's pretty much like he's like the watcher almost, and we're going into the final issue. um and they like it looks like they're both going into this one last universe where they say there's hope still, because he's not convinced that He-Man is good and he wants to destroy them all or something like that. So it's a cool series, and it's tied, I believe it is tied to the He-Man Netflix show. I want to say at some point it might pop up, I don't know. But it's a fun book. I like to read this, like these small He-Man miniseries. Phantom Road, I've caught up on issue 5. Talked about that earlier. Great series. A lot of weird stuff happening. I like that we're getting more of the backstory of the cop and how she has a tie to what's going on,
Yep.
right? Um, and how the FBI is covering something up behind the scenes, almost like X Files
Yeah.
style. So that's cool. Now it's becoming a noir sci-fi like mystery thriller thing. So
Yeah, I'm really glad I stuck with it. And like you said, Teddy Bear.
yeah, teddy bear ends it on a teddy bear, dude. It's weird. Um, yeah. I read one of the this is Night Terrors. Josie Campbell, Stephanie Williams. Uh, Night Terrors Wonder Woman, and it kind of ends. Well, there's like a Nubia story, which I don't really care for because I don't. Nubia is not really one of the characters I care for. But the Wonder Woman story is really good. It's like a Justice League Dark story. It's got Detective Chimp in it, and uh, it's got this one's written by Campbell and um, I can't remember who did the art. But anyways, it's like it's Wonder Woman, Detective Chimp, and Constantine kind of like trapped in this labyrinth with the Minotaur, and then they get split up, so they all have to deal with like their own nightmares. And there's like really cool sequences where you see a lot of like you see Doctor Fate and the Swamp Thing, and the art is like really good. And it ends with like Wonder Woman's trapped in the fangs of like a Medusa like basilisk creature, and Detective Chimp has to like help her. I read the Shazam Night Terror issue. That was really good, like you talked about with Mary Marvel. Guardians of Galaxy is number 5.
Number 4.
4. Jackson Lanzig, Colin Kelly. Man, real tearjerker story. With Rocket Raccoon, and he programs. You got Kev Walker on the art, fantastic art. This doesn't really have the whole gang of the Guardians in the book, but we see where Rocket is. He's like the sheriff of this planet, protecting it from Groot Fall. It's kind of really sad and depressing that he's programmed this mech suit to like talk to him like his buddy Groot used to.
As he has to kill
Uh,
Groot over and over again.
yeah, he has to kill him over and over again. Then he kills him one last time and gets transported. The Guardians like teleport him to the ship and are like, "Hey, dude, we have a way to bring Groot back, and we need your help." So that was a really cool way to end it.
Yeah, I thought this was a good kind of one shot story, but it also
Hmm.
right at the end kind of dovetails into the main story, which made me
Yeah,
excited for the next issue. So Guardians is great.
Radiant. Oh yeah, really good. Jackson Lanzig, Colin Kelly, come on, read their shit. Radiant Black 25. I feel like we're finally getting somewhere in this book. This is like the final fight, like, or not the final fight, but like these giant robot things from the other world are finally getting a chance to like fight the great evil that's coming. And the Radiant Black makes a decision on who's going to pick up the mantle, and it's actually his friend that takes it over. Uh, when Nathan first got injured, um, and then we see that something happens with Radiant Yellow, where he gets like taken um, by like the giant Radiant, like takes him away. He was trying to like find them a way um, to like so they could find a path through the future to end what's coming, and he couldn't really find a way. But yeah, basically a big fight's coming, and now they've seemed to like understand that who's going to take over.
Still behind on the Radiant Black stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, I would say 25 is like a good okay. Once we got there, you're like established now. Batman Superman World's Finest, Mark Wade. Uh, man, I love this series.
what issue was
And
that?
then 17.
Oh, okay. I talked about that last week. Yeah,
Yes, and I just caught up on that. That was a really good issue. Um, with Super Mazo. And then to see the Chemical Man, beating the shit out of him at the end was awesome. And I think that's all I got to this week, Chris.
nice. So I've got a lot of newer series this week, and I mean, this is a good week for new books. But we'll start
Yeah,
with I Hate Fairyland #7.
cool.
So last issue we got kind of the multiverse of Gertz, and now we get the big fight. So Gert Prime, as I'm going to call her, fights the Were Woodle, which is a werewolf poodle mix,
Oh my
and
god.
steals his heart to save the little boy so that he can no longer be a werewoodle and escape Fairyland. And her plan is to hop on his coattails and jump out with him, but it fails at the last second as her disguise is a sheet and she's going to pretend to be a ghost.
Makes
But they
sense.
see right through it. So the multiverse Gertz all like come out, and she convinces them that they're to fight each other in like this 5-page just gruesome fight scene, which was phenomenal. Leaving just their main Gert and then her version of her from the past to fight.
Hmm.
And Mike, it might not end the way we think.
Oh no.
Tune in to next issue. But yeah, I Hate Fairyland's great. I mean, it's such a fun book.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Let's stick with old stuff with Rivals #2. So this no Transformers in this book, everybody.
Mm,
This kind of like sets up the backstory of why the two races fight. You know what's going on. It's time. Tale as old as time. Two races in space, low on supplies. They find this thing, so they're both flying to it, and that's how they ended up on this planet. And now they've come together to build this rocket to try to get off because both their ships are destroyed last issue, if you remember from last issue. And when they get into space, they're then taken by this alien race. Now, I'm not a big Transformers or G.I. Joe fan, so excuse me, everybody, if this is something that's like known, but they are taken by Skuxoid,
okay.
Skuxsoid, and it's this big pig looking thing. Oh, there it is. Boom.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know if that's G.I. Joe or Transformers related, but that's what they're taken by. And it seems like he's some sort of pirate that's going to do some nasty things.
Huh.
So yeah, good issue. Enjoying it. Probably my favorite book this week. The Return of a Vicious Cycle, issue 2, after 2 months.
Yeah.
This, Mike, is the origin story of our lead character. So we get to learn like
Oh.
why these two are stuck in battle through time.
Okay.
And it comes down to like a mission, like he was special ops and he had to take people out and they got trapped in this machine, which then meant
Hmm.
they had to keep going through time. And whenever they killed another person, both of them were shot through time. And the first time they do it, they end up in the Crusades, and they end up killing a guy. And then the second time, they end up in pre-World War II Germany, and are kind of moving around trying to figure out what's going on. The lead character finds this Jewish family and hides with them and has to like contemplate, because he's like, so first of all, the lead character is a black man, so he's the entire time like, I can't stay in Nazi Germany. Like, this is not a thing. But he
Right.
knows if he kills somebody, he can move on. And he runs across this family who helps him, and he's like in the back of his head going, should I just kill them and help myself go through time? Also knowing what the future is, help them, because they're just going to end up in a concentration camp. And it's this whole like existential crisis that he goes through. He decides not to do it, ends up fighting a bunch of Nazi soldiers just to walk out and find a parade with Hitler coming through, when his counterpart walks up to the back of Hitler and has the greatest one-page spread of all time, and he
Oh,
shoots Hitler in the
nice.
head to shoot himself through
Amazing.
time. Um, and what he finds out is, this brings us back to the first issue where he's in the
Mm.
50s, and he finds out that when they do these things, it is actually affecting time. So in this version of the 50s, World War II never happened, and Hitler never reigned.
Mm.
So that's why he decided to kind of capture his counterpart and stay in the time, because he figured they've done a great service to the world. Might as well just, live it out.
Right.
But then we flash forward to the current, where they're in prehistoric times, and the other guy decides, hey, we need to work together to get through this, and that's going to set up the next issue. Fucking love this book. The art's phenomenal, and the story's really cool if you like time travel stuff. So, and I got Moon Knight, City of the Dead, #1, David Pose.
Yeah.
Essentially, Moon Knight has to go to the City of the Dead. Everybody, it's right in the title. He like the Knights of Jackal are attacking this kid, and he doesn't know why. The kid's soul gets stuck in the City of the Dead, so he has to send himself down there, and that's where he meets up with the Scarlet Scarab, and they're sent to save this boy. And a lot of good action sequences, him going through his past, fighting these different jackals and different Egyptian monsters. And then we find out the guy who's leading the jackals is going to summon some creature to Earth if the boy dies using his soul, but his physical
Mm.
body has to die first. And since Moon Knight saved his physical body, he's unable to do it. But his plan is to get a bunch of people that Moon Knight has sent down there over the years to fight against them. So the last page is like all of these old villains that Moon Knight's killed over the years. So really fun issue.
That's cool.
And my last book, Mike, was Scrapper,
Oh.
#1.
Oh, nice.
I've got this because it's Cliff Blazinski. And anybody doesn't know, Cliff was
Mm.
one of the guys in like old school Epic Games before Fortnite was a thing, and was like a real character in the video game industry. One of the co-creators of like Gears of War and stuff like that. So this is like a futuristic Blade Runner esque world where you've got these dogs who can talk, and they go around the city patrolling and helping people from this mega corporation. And they end up helping these different people, and we find out that the main character, the main dog Scrapper, is living in a Italian restaurant, and his whole thing is that he has to like keep the rats out of the Italian restaurant and everything, and that's his family. That's the backstory for him.
Hmm.
When the megacorp comes and destroys them and kills the family, and that's when he evolves like a Pokemon into this freaking lightning dog,
What the hell?
and
That's awesome.
ends up fighting this robot, destroying it, blah blah blah. And that's what that is the megacorp that he's fighting against. He finds out that he was actually a subject of testing from that megacorp, and that's why he
Okay.
has these weird powers and he can talk.
Hmm.
So now, like, the next issue is going to be him trying to figure out, like, well, what's going on, because now he's lost his family, he's on his own, and all this. So it's a really cool, heartfelt, interesting story. I really liked it. It's a 4-issue series. I'll keep with it. But it was something
Cool.
different, something.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
awesome.
And I'll always support Cliffy. I like Cliffy throughout the years. So he's also got, if anybody likes non-picture books, Cliffy also wrote a memoir of his years in the video game industry, which is supposed to be really good. So I'm hoping to pick that up too. But
Cool.
it's too many comics to read, Mike, so I don't have time.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Mike, that's everything I had this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the
You can
show?
find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and most other social media networks, including all these weird ones that are popping up. I'm just claiming my name on them for the day when I need them.
Yep.
And you can also find the show at fortresscomics_ or at fortresscomicnews.com. Remember, everybody, the way to support the show is to give us the 5-star review on podcatcher of your choice or on mobile, to like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version of the show. And if you want to go the extra mile, there's Patreon at patreon.com/fortresscomics. So thank you all so much for watching and or listening this week. And we'll see you all here next week.